morning, everyone. Welcome back to Rolling with Autism. Addison, can you say hi? Hi. Today we have a few errands to run. First, we're going to school, and then I'm going to answer some questions that was posted on our last video. So, hang tight, and here we go. So very proud of Addison today. The school is doing a new teaching program where they are doing core level skills and education just presented at a level to where the kids have a better understanding. So they're getting their core 9th grade education, but it's being presented to them like at 3rd grade level. Still the same information, just presented at a different level, which I think is very awesome. And today I found out that the skill building that they're doing this week, Addison is the highest in his class and will actually be tested tomorrow to see if he moves on to his next subject. My son, who everyone told me was below intellectual intelligence, is the highest in his class, his 9th grade class. Sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit. I've never had a teacher tell me that, and I am so proud of Addison. He is smart. He knows what's going on around him, and to have someone else acknowledge that is priceless. Absolutely priceless. We're heading home now. We're going to eat some lunch, and we were going to eat out, but Addison did do some pinching and grabbing, and we don't reward that behavior. But we're going to go home, we're going to eat lunch, and then we're going to try to meet up with Nanny and run a few more errands. So we'll see you in a little bit.
Voice, please.
We're without power right now, so we decided to head to Denny's. Addison is having a good time, and he stole this ketchup bottle from someone else's table. It's awesome. Another thing to notice is Addison is sitting here without a pacifier. We are stimming out. Just waiting on them fries. Hello everyone. It's been 2 days since we started this vlog. As you noticed from the other video, we were without power and my camera died while we were having dinner, and also I got sick yesterday. I'm feeling much better today, so I decided that today I was going to finish up this vlog and answer questions that were presented to us by Autistic Doggy. Thank you very much for asking these questions, and I really appreciate you being a subscriber. So one of the questions that she had was, when did Addison's behavioral problems start? That one's a little tricky because we always, well, let's start from the other question. She asked when Addison was first diagnosed. Addison was first diagnosed when he was 2 years old, which was very young. And we were very fortunate to have a doctor come up to us and say, hey, we need to start talking about autism. Addison was developing normally up until the age of 17 months, and then he stopped talking completely. And then he stopped hitting milestones. I knew there was something wrong with my child, and since then he has been in therapies. We had a private therapist evaluate him and did say that he does portray autistic symptoms, to where that she could classify him as autistic at such a young age. However, she encouraged us to get him retested later on, which is exactly what we did. When Addison was 4, we went to the Dennis Developmental Center in Little Rock, Arkansas, where we did a full day of intense testing on Addison, and it was verified that he did have autism, and he was moderate to severe. At the time of age 4, he was still nonverbal, and he is still nonverbal to this day. He does have about 5 words that he can say. We use sign language. We've used PECS, which is picture education communication, and he uses his communication device. Addison is also very unique in the aspect that he spells out words to communicate with you. He has a huge vocabulary that we have not been able to test yet. We've tested through grade 3 to this point, but we are still continuing to test. Speaking of test, Addison did take his test today for his reading comprehension. If you remember from earlier in the video, Addison was the highest in his class and the only one at his level. He took the test today to confirm. He passed. He got every single question right and has been moved on to the next subject. I could not be more proud of my child, or more proud of the teacher who is willing to think outside of the box and be able to actually show people his true potential. So yeah, that just happened today. Super proud. So yeah, Addison's vocabulary and his reading comprehension is extremely vast, and we contribute that a lot to him being on YouTube. We don't key in anything for Addison. He spells it, he finds it, and we are surprised at some of the things that he finds. Not all of it is in English. We are unsure if Addison knows and understands different languages. He did once come up to me and ask me for Docton, which I Googled and found out that it was Norwegian for doctor. Norwegian. Yeah, no, we can't do that. No. Mommy doesn't do the different languages. Very limited on my ability to understand different languages. So we just don't know his potential there. What is one of the most difficult things about being a mother of a child with autism? I have 3 things that is the most difficult. With Addison and him not being able to communicate everything, that is like my number 1. His having to struggle to, most people, they ask their children, hey, what's wrong? Are you feeling bad? Are you sick? And they're able to tell you. Addison can't. So it's pretty much guesswork. We're working on it. on how to communicate this better, but communication still is one of the most complicated things that we struggle with on a daily basis. Yeah, just so he would tell us how he feels. Is he stressed? Especially now that we're in puberty. We don't get to have the conversations about, how do you feel? What's going on? Is there something I can do to help? Are you stressed? Are you having bad thoughts? Addison can't tell me any of this. So that is one of my biggest and most difficult situations with being an autism mom. The second thing is patience. You have to have a ton of patience. And I struggle with patience. I'm human. I'm flawed, just like anybody else. So we struggle with patience on a daily basis. Both him and I. Neither one of us are patient with each other. But we are trying to improve that, and we're starting to work together on that. So that has, again, been the second difficulty that we have with each other. And being a mother of autism, you have to have patience. My third thing is the judgment of society. I have a big issue with the stares, and you get used to it, but it shouldn't have to be something that you get used to. You can hear Addison in the background. I should be able to go out in public with my child and not have everybody staring at him and thinking, God, what's wrong with him? Honey, there is no cheese. You left it out on the counter and the dog ate it. So, no cheese. I'm sorry. Do you want... public judgment of Addison is a big number 3. Again, you get used to it after a while. You don't care what other people think. Your child is happy, healthy, and having a good time. But when you're in public and those meltdowns happen, Addison has, he does elopement, where he runs away. And that's really fun in stores. He'll run away, think it's a game, and I have back problems. I can't run after him, and people will just stare as he runs by, and I'm thinking, hey, please just step in front of him and say stop. But they don't do that. Nope, they stare and wonder what's wrong with him? What kind of mother am I? You get those stares and you just kind of, there's a lot of judgment. But I don't think there is a parent out there who doesn't go through that, even neurotypical parents. Another thing that was asked was, what do I foresee for Addison's future? This was very hard. I came to terms with Addison's autism immediately. I didn't have the stages of grief. I didn't have the denial. I knew there was something wrong with my child and was like, okay, let's move on. But it came to a point when he was about, I would say he was about 12, that I realized I really needed to have a plan in place for him, because I'm not going to be around forever. He doesn't have any brothers or sisters. His father hasn't remarried. So what happens to Addison after I'm gone? I got in contact with my sister-in-law and her family, and they have graciously decided that once I'm gone and Patrick, who is Addison's dad, is gone, they are going to adopt Addison. So they are going to adopt Addison when we are gone. It takes a village to raise a child, and we didn't want to put the responsibility on just one person. So having an entire family come up and be willing to adopt Addison and look after him, to have an entire family come forward and adopt Addison and look after him after we're gone, really was key. And they said yes, but we hope to have a plan in place for Addison long before we're gone. Nobody knows when they're going to be gone. We do have a failsafe for Addison. A couple of years ago, when my stepfather passed, he left us an inheritance that we used to purchase our house outright. So Addison would always have a home. Addison will probably live in a group home setting at some point. But I don't look at that as a negative. Because there's so many positives that can happen from a group home. Me and a couple of mothers are actually trying to put an organization together to help parents in our area figure out what happens after. So we do have that going. We plan to have Addison live with us as long as possible. Again, our house is paid for, free and clear. If Addison was to move into a group home, the house would be rented out to where that is a income for Addison. So he will always have a steady income that will come to him on top of any type of Social Security, which was extremely important to us. We've also talked about selling the house and investing in doing our own RV park that would be managed after we're gone. It can either be sold and then the money put into a trust for Addison, or the business could continue to run and Addison would get a monthly income from that. So we do have some plans for Addison, and it's so hard to plan for it. No one wants to think about what happens after, but it's important to plan early, and that's what we have started to do. So yeah, that was rather emotional. So that's it for our video today, and we hope to put out another one later this week. I am currently working on our weighted blanket. Got to move back into that again. Got my sewing machine fixed, and I'm not a sewer, which is why it probably took me so long to get my sewing machine fixed. So I'm on the mend, and I'm starting to work on that. So hopefully that will be a video this week or next week. But we'll at least have one more video this week. Again, if you guys have any questions for us, what kind of equipment we use, or just any basic questions, just leave them in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and like our videos, and we'll see you next time.